Hello. There's a big area of low pressure sitting to the northwest of Europe at the moment, and that low is made up of smaller low pressure centres, and some of those are going to prove to be quite deep and bring stormy conditions across towards Scandinavia later Monday into Tuesday. Strong winds, some quite heavy snow for some. Another centre will approach the west of France, the southwest of the UK, as we head later on into Tuesday and into Wednesday daytime. Further east into Europe, the tail end of an area of low pressure across the Black Sea will feed some showers into Turkey on Tuesday. It is largely fine, though, across the Mediterranean and rather mild in some spots, particularly as we look up towards the centre of Europe, actually, with southerly winds. For example, for Switzerland, 13 degrees there in Bern with some sunshine on Tuesday. But it looks like it's this unsettled weather from further north that will start to win out as we go further on into the week. Digging its way south, it will introduce colder air and eventually more unsettled conditions. Some snow on the way for western Russia as weather fronts slam into the colder air sitting in place here in the coming days, looking wintry for Moscow Friday and Saturday. You see that distinct fall in temperatures for Bern down to just 3 degrees by Friday. The colder air will also work its way as far south as Rome, but still in double figures here with sunshine for Saturday and Sunday. Hello. Two areas of low pressure on our North American chart as we start the week. This one pushing its way northeastwards, not anticipated to cause too many problems in the next few days. There will be some snow around the Great Lakes. It's this one, though, pushing into the Pacific Northwest that's going to have some big impacts throughout the week ahead. Heavy snow for the southwest of Canada, courtesy of this low during Monday and Tuesday. This weather front here trailing back into the Pacific at the moment will drag much colder air in behind it as this whole system barrels its way eventually to the north of the plains of the US and into the northeast in time for Christmas. So here we are on Monday with some heavy snowfall getting into parts of British Columbia and Alberta. Ahead of that low, we're still pulling in some unseasonable warmth, though, a good way north across the plains, and that warmer air will push its way eastwards for a time, lifting temperatures across the likes of the Great Lakes. After that little bit of snow to start the week, it will look milder here for Wednesday and perhaps for a time on Thursday before that next low chases in with very cold and wintry weather set to run across the Great Lakes into the northeast of the US, and particularly badly hit Ontario and Quebec as we move into the Christmas period. It is much quieter towards the south. There's a lot of sunshine in our forecast there. You see that little spike in temperatures ahead of that wintry weather for later in the week. Hello. The weather pattern somewhat grinds to a halt across South America for the next few days. We have a weather front currently sitting across southeastern Brazil. It's not going to go anywhere in a hurry. Yes, it's a narrow band of rain, but for the areas where it lingers, we could be talking about hundreds of millimetres of rain and the risk of flooding. Further south, a big area of high pressure locked in place will bring a lot of fine weather from northern Chile through into parts of Uruguay, Paraguay, but particularly for northern Argentina. Still plenty of showers further north, though, through the Amazon basin. Clearer, drier as we reach the northeast coast of Brazil. Showers, though, I think fairly relentless for Rio in the coming days. In contrast to almost unbroken sunshine for Buenos Aires. We will see low pressures having some degree of success, though, getting into the far south of Chile and Argentina in the next few days. Looking very wet there, as promised for Rio in terms of the outlook, and what a contrast between the faultless blue skies of Buenos Aires. Across Central America, a fairly typical weather pattern for the time of year. We've got a scattering of showers. It looks drier now, though, for Costa Rica in terms of our outlook, but perhaps Panama in line for some more frequent showers in the coming days. They should be interspersed, though, with some drier interludes and some sunshine as well. For Santa Ana, the showers most likely quite short, sharp afternoon affairs. Hello. We have some unseasonably warm air at the moment, stretching from South Sudan across to eastern Angola. Temperatures 6, 7, 8 degrees above average here for the coming days. Further south, some intense rain to contend with. This area of low pressure producing intense thunderstorms across the eastern half of South Africa for Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, all the way across into Mozambique as it shifts its way further eastwards as the week pans out. We will see, I think, localised flooding as a consequence of these showers. Certainly looking wet for Harare, Lusaka and Longway in terms of our outlook. Johannesburg should be drier from midweek onwards. To the north of the continent, a much drier and quieter story overall. Some chillier air though digging its way down into Algiers and Tunis from Europe just briefly Friday and Saturday. Across the Middle East, a largely fine story, a little more unsettled to the north as low pressure approaches the Caspian Sea. We do have some colder air sitting to the north of Iran as well, and as the low bumps into that, there may well be some snowfall around for the likes of Tehran towards the end of this week. A little bit of a shamal picking up across the Gulf too in the next few days could cause some visibility problems there. You see the colder air and the wintry weather for Tehran on Friday. Hello. The northeasterly monsoon looks set to really gather apace across Sri Lanka and the Maldives in the next few days. A lot of cloud here on the recent satellite imagery, and we're set to see some very heavy rain feeding into some areas with the potential for localised flooding. Southernmost India will pick up a few showers as well, but generally the story across India is a dry one for the coming days. Pretty static to the north thanks to high pressure that also extends as far north as Kazakhstan, and underneath that high we've trapped some comparatively cold air across northernmost India. Temperatures will be below average through the coming days, and you can see there -16 in Nur Sultan. These are around the average values though for Kazakhstan down into Afghanistan for this time in the year. Across northern India though, the high pressure will trap, I think, for some dense patches of fog, which could prove problematic through the coming days. Heavy rain though across the Maldives, as you can see, and for Sri Lanka on Tuesday. Skies look much clearer to the north of the Bay of Bengal as we get up towards Bangladesh and Nepal. In terms of our outlook, Nur Sultan rather overcast until we get to Sunday, -16, but there will be some sunshine to be found. For Islamabad and Delhi, plenty of sunshine to come along with Dhaka too, but some heavy showers for Colombo and Malé. Hello. Looking at our latest Asian satellite image, you can see a big white mass of cloud sitting to the south of the South China Sea. This is Tropical Depression Krovna. It's anticipated to run with its centre to the south of Vietnam through the middle of the week. But what it's already done is kick up the northeasterly monsoon flow into Vietnam. Some heavy rain to come for central and southern areas through the next 48 hours with a risk of flooding. Further north, high pressure very much holding steady means more sunshine across eastern China through into the Korean Peninsula and for much of Japan. It looks like we could eventually see the remnants of Krovna pushing heavier rain towards the Malay Peninsula and Thailand in the following days as well. Certainly looking very wet for Ho Chi Minh in terms of Tuesday and Wednesday. Still very wet for the south across Indonesia at the moment. Again, the monsoon to thank, also feeding heavier rain into northernmost Australia. We have a tropical depression pushing its way inland to the north of Western Australia. Further south, heat building through the next few days. Some potentially very heavy showers for a time through the east coast of Australia, and then the threat of further rain pushing in from the Tasman Sea to the western side of the South Island of New Zealand, where we've already seen a lot of rain recently, and there's a distinct risk of some flooding here. Temperatures in Perth close to 40 degrees on Wednesday.